it's Jamie. Today we're back for another tutorial, and today's tutorial was actually requested by one of my subscribers, and I'm going to be teaching you how to get the perfect winged eyeliner using gel eyeliner. And this is Bobbi Brown's gel liner in case you're wondering, but I actually prefer gel liner because with pencils I feel like you don't get as a precise line, especially when you're doing a winged liner. And for liquid liners, I feel like they're not as forgiving as gel liner. They're really easy to make a mess, and they're just really difficult, I feel like, especially for beginners. So if you're a beginner in eyeliner, I really request getting a gel liner. And in the video later on, I will mention a bunch of different brands that do sell it. So whether you want to purchase it from a department store or a drugstore, I'm going to list off a few names for you. So yeah, if you're interested in learning how to get the winged liner, just keep watching. First, I'm going to be talking about the different kind of brushes you can use when you're using or when you're applying gel liner. So let me go ahead and go through those. First is this pointed brush, and this one is by Smashbox, and this one is actually just a complete, there's no shape to it, it's just a point. So this one is, I wouldn't really recommend this kind of brush for beginners, but if you're pretty good at applying gel liner already, then this one can be okay for you. I recommend this kind of brush for someone that is pretty good at drawing straight lines, because with this brush it doesn't give you any kind of, there's no angle at it or anything, so it's basically just like drawing a straight line like with a pencil, or you're doing it on your eye. So you would dip it into the product and then draw a straight line. So if you are good at drawing straight lines, or if you have a steady hand, then this can be good for you, but I wouldn't really recommend this for beginners. Next, I'm going to be talking about a flat liner brush, which is this. And this is just one I got from IMAX last year. And this one, I used to use this one a lot until I traded to an angle brush. But this one is good because when you dip it into the gel liner, you can just dab it across your eye. So you just go like this, and then you can blend it, or you can just straight blend it with this, because it does bend enough so that you can just swoop it across your eye. But again, it is really good for just kind of stippling it on there. And this one I wouldn't really recommend if you're doing wing liner, just because if you're going to drag it at the end, it doesn't really give you a sharp tip on the wing like this. So this one I would recommend more if you're just doing a liner without a wing. Next is, this is another pointed liner brush, but this one, it's thicker at the base and it's more pointed at the end, so it is tapered. I like this one better than just the regular brush like this, because it's more dense and it's thicker at the base. It does give you more control when you're applying it. So it still has that tip, so you get a fine line, but the thickness of the bristles at the base gives you more control. So that one's nice as well. Then last are angled brushes. The one I use is the MAC 266, and there's also this kind of angled brush. And see, the difference is that the bristles on this one is shorter than on this one. They're both pretty dense. This one is really dense. This one is a little bit more flexible. But like I said, I like this MAC one better. This one is just from a company called Kayla. I just got it from a kiosk a few years ago. But I actually use this one for my eyebrows because it's just good for that. Because the bristles are long, so it gives you more of a natural look for when you're doing your eyebrows. But like I said, this one has shorter bristles, so this is why I like this one best for liner, because it's dense and it gives you more control. And the pointed tip at the end when you're doing the wing, it just is able to give you a really sharp point at the end of your wing. So this is going to be the one I'm using today, the MAC 266. Next, I'm going to be talking about actual gel liners. The one I use is from Bobbi Brown, and it's Bobbi Brown's Long Wear Gel Eyeliner, and it looks like this in the packaging. And this is in the color Black Ink, which is just their black liner. I know this one was like $21, so I know it is a little pricey, but pretty much every company out there, whether it's drugstore or department store, they sell some kind of gel liner. You can get one from Bobbi Brown. I know MAC has their fluid line, which I had before. I had the fluid line from MAC, and I also had the L'Oreal Hip. There's Maybelline, there's Clinique, Michael Todd, Urban Decay. Urban Decay has one called Ink for Eyes, and that one I think is also about $22, so it is a little pricey, but Urban Decay has really good products, so does MAC, of course, but Urban Decay is my number one. So I know once I run out of this, I'm going to be getting the Urban Decay one. So yeah, plus their packaging is way cute all the time, so why not? So anyway, let's just go ahead and start doing the gel liner. So what I'm going to do is just take the brush, of course, and then dip it directly into the liner. You don't want to dip it, just smash it in there, because you're going to get excess product along the side of the brush. So I only just kind of pat it in there. And then I kind of just wipe the sides off, because if there's too much product on the sides, then when you're applying the liner on your eyes, it might become uneven. The line will become too goopy and uneven. So you want to make sure you only have the necessary amount of product on your brush. So I just wipe off some of it onto the jar. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's no gel liner like hanging off the sides, all goopy on the sides, just directly on the tip of the brush. So I'm going to put the cap back on. And then what I do is I start from the middle and I drag outwards. So you want to just kind of pull your skin taut, so you're not stretching it like crazy, you're just kind of pulling it taut so to smooth out the skin. And then just take the brush and just start on the middle. And I just do a tiny bit just so it doesn't spread too much. And then I just start to drag it out. I keep most of the pressure on the tip, and then as I drag it, I put more pressure along the rest of the brush. So anyway, just keep pulling it out. And then for the wing, I do the inner like third last, just because. So for the wing, I would just keep pulling it, and then with the tip, this is why I like this brush again, with the tip only. I'm not going to put pressure on the rest of the brush. So I'm holding it in this direction. So take the tip and then just drag it up to start creating the wing right there. And then where the bottom, see this line of where everybody's eyes are shaped differently, but where I'm going to go with the shape of my eye, so it goes along this way, and you want to keep the line going. So as if you were to just draw a line and keep going with the shape. So I'm going to go from the bottom of where the bottom lashes start, maybe a little bit above it, and then just push the gel liner down, and then just gently draw a line to make that point, and then just continue it onto the top just to make those lines connect. See how it's like this, and then I just go ahead and fill it in. And then as I need more product, I'm just going to go in and dip in and get some more. It's a little bit at a time. So I'm going to go back and fill it in. Okay, so now that the outer half is done, I'm going to go in and just finish the inside. So again, keeping more pressure on the tip, just patting it down and then dragging out. And then to smooth it out, I would just start from the inner side with the point again. Start from the inner part and then just drag back, just to make that line as smooth as possible. Almost always you'll notice, especially when you're first doing liner, that the wings won't always be exactly perfect. So what you can always do, like this one, I made the wing a little bit thicker than I did on this side. And so I'm just going to compare this one to this one, and then I'm just going to thicken this one up a little bit. Another tip I have is when you're practicing the wing, sometimes, I know when I was first starting out eyeliner, I would sometimes make it too thick or it looked funny, it wasn't like exactly how I wanted it. Something I would recommend is to get some Q-tips, especially those pointed Q-tips if you're able to find those, but regular ones would work just as fine. But you would just take the Q-tip and dip it in either some makeup remover or eye makeup remover or cold cream, which are those little jars like Pond's cold cream and it looks like just a hand lotion, but those are really to take off makeup. Well, that's what I use it for anyway. You can just dip it into there, wipe off can't talk, wipe off a little bit of the excess onto a tissue or whatnot, and then you can just drag it along the wing and just clean it up. And you can do that anywhere along the liner, really. But if you already have your makeup on, such as I do, and if I were to mess up the wing, I would just dip it into some cold cream and then just fix it along the edge, and that should clean it right up. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it was easy enough to follow along. So if you have any more questions that I didn't already clear up, just go ahead and let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.